The algorithm wants you comfortable, scrolling, and chasing trends. Joe Felz did the exact opposite. He went from a prison cell to a massive real estate empire, then walked away from the noise to build a completely off-grid solar homestead in the jungles of Costa Rica. Stop consuming a fake version of success and start building true autonomy. Watch the new episode of Disrupt and Discuss right now.
Americans are the most arrogant people on planet fucking Earth. Look at the Spartans. 300 Spartans were worth 300,000 Persians, and Americans are these shit sorriest people walking planet Earth right now. That's why I had to get out of there. I can't. Public education, I hate it. I know exactly what it is. Not education, it's indoctrination. They're training you to be an employee. Join part of the city. It is so important in America that if you don't take your kids there,
today, you guys, we're not talking about somebody who's had the perfect plan, right? The perfect background or the perfect start. We are talking about transformation, real transformation. Our guest today went from being an 8-time convicted felon to building a multi-state real estate portfolio to becoming what he calls a property mogul. And not just real estate, we're talking construction, solar energy, off the grid living, and turning ideas into actual income streams. This is someone who didn't just rebuild his life, he redesigned it. From one $19,000 property to roughly 70 properties across multiple states, from prison to ownership, from survival to strategy. But what makes this story hit different is how he thinks. Because this is the same man who ran a 100-mile ultra marathon, and when his shoes failed him, he finished the race in flip-flops. Not because it was smart, but because quitting wasn't an option. That's the mindset, showed up in everything he does. And alongside him, we've got Alex. Not just a partner, but a key part of the lifestyle and the brand. From van life to homesteading to building a sustainable life in Costa Rica, she represents the real life side of what most people only see on social media. Together, they're building something that blends business, freedom, sustainability, and lifestyle all at the same time. So today, we're getting into it, all of it. The real story, the risks, the pivots, the money, the mindset, and what people are not being told about this kind of lifestyle and entrepreneurship. Welcome, you guys. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Again, I know you guys are busy. I'm just really thankful that you guys took the time out to really sit and talk with us today. Seriously. I don't take what you guys do lightly. I'll just give a little heart when I see it and go, ooh. Following you guys, it gives me ambition to get off my ass to do stuff when I see it. Not going to do it to the extreme like you guys are doing, but it does make you think. And if anybody on our platform hasn't seen what you guys are doing, by all means, before it's over, plug your stuff, everything, because I think you guys are amazing. Joe, I love all the stuff that you do, not taking anything away. But again, this ain't a kiss ass moment. Alex, you really are one of those unsung heroes. Not everybody sees all of what you do behind the scenes. It's a lot. It's a lot. Just me trying to coordinate with you, that's one thing, but that's on like maybe 10 or 12,000 other things that you're doing in a day. When I first met you, I had no idea that you were one of the judges or coaches. It was just really good having a conversation with you that last day. I never forgot that. I really think an awful lot of you and your stories, how you came about, and then we'll just take it from there.
I think that's the ticket right there, was that response that you just had. I don't know what he has inside there, but he has the capability to do that to every human that he touches in some way or another. It's been amazing to watch. I don't know that Joe sees it as much as everybody else does, but he has touched the lives of a large number of people.
Oh, yeah. And of course, I have to say this before we even finish, how I got to know who Joe was. Your favorite line, I never forgot it. How do you fuck a porcupine?
very carefully.
I remember one of the first ones when we started dating that he hit me with, and it was, I couldn't make out all the words, but it was like, a blind hog finds a nut every now and again. What? A blind hog finds a nut every now and again.
A blind hog finds an acorn every now and again.
Whatever, that. And I was just, and then, or useless as a, what is it?
You like tits on a boho.
Tits on a
Oh, see, I say tits on a boar. That's what I say.
boho.
Tits on
Okay.
a boho.
Where do y'all find these sayings? Casey does the same thing. And I'm like, what?
The South.
Okay.
Yeah, my family's from the South.
My family's from the South too, but I never got all these.
Or what is it?
sayings.
Why does
Sorry.
the dog lick its balls?
Oh my God. Okay.
Because he can. Okay.
Yeah. You think you could do that?
If I had
that
balls,
dog will
probably
bite you.
not.
That dog will bite you.
Oh my gosh.
Dad jokes are terrible. Yesterday he came up with one. We were putting the solar panels on, and he goes, "What do you get when you mix a cat with solar
When you
panels?"
put a cat on top of a solar panel.
What do you get? Renewable.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to be one of those. I love it. Love it.
It doesn't stop ever.
Jesus spoke in parables. So do I. What do you want me to say?
For those that don't even know, how did you even become what you become today? What was the running from the cops to all that kind of stuff? I didn't believe it when I first heard it.
I guess it's the first time I went to college, UGA, right out of high school, on 2 full ride academic scholarships. I got kicked out the first year for mushrooms, marijuana, and hash oil. I got kicked out there. I always got in trouble with the law. I was asleep in my dorm room when they came and got me that time. And the second time I was sitting out by the lake at Clark Hill, just drinking beer and smoking weed, and the DNR pulled up on me in a boat. They had been watching us with binoculars a half-mile out in the lagoon. There was nobody around us for miles. Like, this would be called minding your own fucking business in most parts of the world, but not in the great state of South Carolina. I was always out on bond, probation, something like that. And one night at the same lake in a different place, we were just drinking over a fire on the way back. We're on these little dirt roads. I wound up going really fast, lost control of the vehicle, going around a curve, hitting an embankment, and flipped 3 times, landed on the hood. They called the police, and everybody showed up there. There were 5 cop cars, an ambulance, a fire truck. I was driving. They gave me a breathalyzer. I blew a .06 under the legal limit, but I was 19, so they went to take me to jail. He had me up against the cop car like that, and he let go to grab his handcuffs, and I booked and I ran, barefooted and shirtless. I ran 20-something miles that night through pine forest. I was picking thorns out of my scalp for about a month afterward. I was completely cut up. I ran into a barbed wire fence and split this nipple wide open, but I got away, and nobody saw me for almost 2 years. It was at that time that I started working construction work, because I was in 2008. I didn't have a license. I didn't have an ID. I didn't have a car, a pair of shoes, nothing. Hard time to make $1 in 2008. But that's where I began working construction. Anyways, I ran from the police a few more times. I've run from them 5 times. I've only been caught twice. And that's only because they had radios. I like to say, you bunch of fat, sorry motherfuckers would never catch me without a radio. To all my police friends out there, I just wish they'd get a real fucking job. The dumbest, sorriest, laziest bunch out there. Anyways, now they have ICE, so there are some shittier ones. Anyways, don't edit any of that out. They all need to know they suck giant dick. All right. But they caught me 2 days after my 21st birthday. I wound up doing 2.5 years in prison as a 5'4" white boy in Reedsville, Georgia, Rogers State Prison, right across the street from where they filmed The Longest Yard. That's where, me and Cindy, I taught myself Spanish when I was in prison, taught myself Greek, translated Matthew and Mark from Greek into English to better understand it. I was not idle in that time, but I always mention those things because I learned construction when I was on the run from the law and Spanish when I was in prison. The irony of building something in a Spanish-speaking country is not lost on me as I sit here today.
Yeah.
When I got out of prison on August 9, 2010 with $50 in the clothes on my back, I've repaid more than that debt. From there, I started working. I had no electrical experience at that time. I took a job making $8 an hour at Rob Zapata's Electric. He gave me a chance. I learned electrical work. I took another job making $12 an hour remodeling entire bathrooms by myself. From there, I started my own business and went out on my own. Once again, just working on houses. Started doing contract work for a large property holdings company named Eschhoff Properties. They were good to me. And from there, I bought my first house, my second house, third house. And it just kept going. Basically, if I look back on it, I just went in there where somebody was doing something, and after a short period of time, understood what they were doing far better than them. I started doing electrical. Now look at me. Then I did that for about 12 years. It was in May of 22. I've been married. I had 2 kids. I'm 70-something houses. I had custom designed the perfect house for me and my little family out there in Hepzibah on right about 6 acres, and a 2,200 square foot house that I gutted and custom designed. I put a tankless electric water heater in the attic right above that giant shower that was 6 foot across and 4 foot wide. A bench seat, 2 shower heads, 4-foot soap box with a window. Lit this house really nicely. Built a gym. Decided what I was going to do next. A few weeks later, I went and bought a van. I bought a van, El Suave, paid $20 for that van. It was already a camper. It didn't have any solar. It didn't have anything. That's where I started with solar energy. I had to figure out how to put solar in a van, so I built my own solar generator in a Pelican hard case and stuffed it in there, told society they could fuck off. And I left, and I hadn't been back. And so I took off and I headed out across the country. I bought a house all the way out in Washington State, 9 minutes from the beach and 15 minutes from Olympic National Park in a little town called Swim, Washington. I call it Squish. But I was done, man. I really was done with society. I still am. I left and was driving across the country. I had planned to run 5 unsupported ultra marathons along the way. I was a competitive runner. I've won a couple 40 and 50 mile foot races in the mountains. You can Google Joe Felz running and see all my race results in Ultra Run magazine. People think I'm kidding, but I left and I downloaded a navigational app known as Tinder, and that's where you go. You use Tinder to figure out where you're going to go next. I remember I worked in that van for 2 weeks in August in the hot sun, sweating my ass off, 8-9 hours a day. The day I left 12 years on the day that I got out of prison. I left on 8/10/22.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Set off as a self-made millionaire, heartbroken, had done everything for everybody, and had got nothing but shit in return. I left. I drove all the way to Kentucky, Land of the Lakes Recreational Center, and slept. I drove 7 hours and slept for 5 hours and got up and ran my first, I don't know, it was around 28 miles, unsupported. It's 88 degrees, super humid. It rained all night, and I almost died. I remember I stopped to filter water and hung my water filter up. It was dead carpet and everything in the water, and it smelled terrible. And I remember, I don't know how long I was there, but I woke up. I passed out on the bank of the lake. If it wasn't for a low-hanging branch of muscadines, I might not be here today. But I finished that run, and I remember when I did, I was just like, what am I doing? Who am I proving something to? That I can run 30 miles for what? It just seemed stupid to me. And at that point, I said, fuck it, I'm going to route north and see some of my country family up there in Albany, Missouri. When I did that, I swung up further north than I had planned, and that's where I met Alex on Tinder, because she was up in Des Moines, Iowa.
Alex.
Now the stories can converge. Tell them what you were doing, honey.
I was trying to get help on my bus. That's what I was doing. And so I downloaded Tinder. I just kicked out my husband. And there was a floor heater in the back of the bus that I couldn't figure out how to pull out. And I was like, I need a man. Where am I going to get one? I was like, oh, Tinder. I downloaded it. And it had their little careers listed right at the top. And I was like, carpenter? Yep, need one of those. Diesel mechanic? Yep, need one of those. Joe popped up, and his profile picture was him and his brother. And they were underneath this waterfall. And I didn't know it was his brother at that time. But they were the happiest gay couple I had ever seen in my life. Anyways, so I had seen Joe. I'd seen that he was gay, but I'd also seen that he had just converted his van. And he sounded smart. And I was like, perfect. He's not going to try and fuck me, but he'll know what to do here. And so I started talking to him, and he was super chatty, super nice. And I was like, yep, homosexual. Great. And 2 weeks later, I was on a plane to Washington, and he was not homosexual. And here we are.
And dot. Have a
Right? I don't know, ladies. I guess Tinder. Look for a carpenter. Look for.
I didn't know it went like that.
Get your man.
You're
surfing Tinder wrong.
This whole thing, I had this whole plan to go live off in the woods with my kids in a bus. I was working in the ER during COVID, left there, and then went over to Family Medicine Administration. And I was so disenchanted. All I wanted to do was help people my entire life. Medically, I wanted to heal people. I was checkmarking these boxes on this fucking computer to make sure we met quality metrics so we got paid by Medicare instead of actually caring for patients. And then my kids were coming home and telling me the shit that they learned from their friends or their teachers. And I was like, I gotta get out. So kicked my husband out, kicked his kids out with him. Got ready to sell my house, sold everything in it. I had 19 fucking garage sales over 6 weeks. It was insane. I accumulated just masses of stuff that I hadn't even touched in 10 years. I had to sell all of that, quit my job, pulled the kids out of school, and Joe popped up, and I was like, okay, 2 things are going to happen here. I was flying into Seattle, which I don't know if you're aware. Seattle and 200-mile radius around that area is the capital of serial killers in the over 50% of serial killers come from that one area.
You know, it's funny you say that, because when my daughter was living in Washington State, they were in the military base over there, Bremerton. And we would sit in the back porch, and I'd look at all those trees, and I said, oh my God, a serial killer could come here, get us, and no one would ever know. So see, confirm I wasn't crazy. Okay.
I made sure I sent my sister, my grandmother, everybody, all of the identification I could get. I was screenshotting Facebook, Tinder. This is the dude that's killed me. Like, I knew I was going to be murdered. Because then he has this whole story. He's running from the cops, and I was a multimillionaire.
That doesn't help.
Also, he's in this dirty ass, creaky van that I was like, I'm fitting to get off. Like, for sure. I knew this.
Why'd you come?
I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea.
I
So then
sound messed up.
and I remember we got there. I got in the van, and I remember the first thing he said is, I was like, sitting like this. I'm very nervous. And he was like, "Hey, why are you so tense? Loosen up." And I was like, "Oh, fuck."
She's like, I'm good.
We drive to his house that he was working on there, and there's a bunch of Georgia rednecks out in the yard throwing shit. And so I went and hid in the bush, and I remember calling my sister, and I was like, "This is not okay." And then it turned out those 5 days where I still can't explain what happened in those 5 days. Just a little tiny story time. One of the events within those 5 days, Joe kept doing this thing where we'd be driving and he'd slam on the brakes and he'd be like, "We got to go back there." And he'd put it in reverse. And then we'd pull off to some weird random place. This time it so happened to be a little hitchhiker. He was not little. He was like 6 foot.
He was a Lithuanian basketball coach who had started backpacking in New Hampshire in May, and he was 6'10".
Oh my God.
His name was,
And so
I have a picture I should send to you so you can see. He was massive.
he was huge.
Huge.
So
And you going back to pick them up. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to, all these places, it was like 4 in a row where something just said, "Hey, stop there." And I mean, I drove past it and stopped and put it in reverse in a highway and backed up.
So we picked him up. Prior to that, we had stopped at this little tiny grocery store. Tell that one.
Well, it was the same place. This is in a little town called CQ, a town of about 120 people. Out there, we in the Olympic Peninsula now. You know that little tiny tip on the U.S. there, right? But one road in and one road out. U.S. one. We went in there, and I remember the dude. When we walked in, he just said, "Hello," and I looked at Alex and I said, "How many times you walk into a gas station and the cashier has the voice of God?" And so we walked over and we grabbed some things. There was no sugar, no alcohol. It was like a little health food store in the middle of nowhere, a little gas station. It was a very small little establishment. But we got up there and he looked at me and just said, "Would you like me to read your ancient runes?" And I was like, I remember I said, "Yes, sir, read my runes." And so he took us back there and he did. He spread out a little cloth with a circle on it and all these quadrants. And we grabbed the little bone trinkets and threw them on there. And he read our ancient runes. He correctly identified both of our astrological signs. He said that Alex was getting a divorce. He nailed everything on the head. And one thing he had told me, he said, "A new venture that you have just started is going to flourish." I had been on social media for about 3 weeks at this point. We've been back there 3 times since, and we reviewed everything that he wrote, and it was all scarily accurate. We actually have one of those books that we bought from him. We went back there right before we came to Costa Rica, and Terry had a stroke. He's had a stroke, and I think that was probably the last time we'll ever get to see him.
Wow.
But when we left after that weird experience, we were like, "Hey, let's bless this guy." So we bought like $150 worth of stuff, which is a lot to put in the van. We left out of there and we driven maybe a mile where we saw a hitchhiker. "Hey, let's pick this guy up." And we picked up a hungry giant with all of this food. And I remember asking him, "Hey, are you hungry? We have a whole bunch." He was like, "Oh yes, many people give me a ride, but very few offer me food." Yes, he ate all of it too.
Sure did.
I remember we offered him, we had some weed. We were like, "You smoke?" He's like, "No." "You want a beer?" "No." And later when we were going, this little Aspen forest, we we're like, "Do you want some mushrooms?" He goes, "Sure." We're like, "Do you eat mushrooms?" He goes, "No, but it just seems like it would be appropriate." And so we did. We ate mushrooms with that guy and walked through the old growth forest at night with no flashlight for about 2 hours.
What?
Cool.
Okay.
Off shrooms?
This is where it gets crazy.
Your pupils are giant. You can see better at night.
We're in the
Okay.
van, and then we're telling everybody stories. And I was telling mine, childhood, mom, and I said I was from Iowa. And he goes, "I have something for you." And he digs around in his bag and he pulls out this little metal canister with a J inscribed on the side of it. And he was like, "Somebody else had picked me up while I was hitchhiking, and he just gave me this and a phone number and said that it needed to get to Iowa, and he knew I could get it there. Can you get it to Iowa?" And I was like, "Well, it's a big state. Like, where?" He's like, So I took this. We went on with the rest of our trip. I got back home 5 days later, and I called this number. And I was like, "Hey, this is going to sound crazy." We picked up the hitchhiker who had been picked up by somebody else, and he had this little metal tin thing that I'm supposed to get to you, and you're somewhere in Iowa. I was like, "Where are you?" And so she gives me her address. She is 4 blocks from my house. 4 blocks from
Are
my
you
house.
serious?
I meet her and I deliver it to her, and she opened it on site, and it was from this guy that she had been talking to for the past 2 years, and it was a suicide note. She hadn't heard from him in 6 months.
He was already dead.
God. Oh my gosh.
Didn't see that coming.
These are the types of things that happen to us.
And it was 5 days packed of that kind of shit.
We don't
I
have
got
time to go
goosebumps.
through all of it. That's just spiritual experiences, just crazy stuff.
Wow.
That's
Wow. So I'm kind of skipping around here, so feel free. But how did you end up with the blocks? Since that's how I met you. You doing all of this, how do you have time?
That time, I don't have time for anything. I mean, I remember the blocks. A few people sent it to me off of Facebook. I remember I kind of buzzed up one night and applied. We were up in, I think we were in Tennessee, and I applied for it. And then the process took a little while to do. And then I had to do my interview. Once again, I was in Tennessee. I went and did it in a Budweiser jacket, standing by a mountain surrounded lake, and they took me. And that was my first time ever really. I live in a cave. I regularly interact in person with 5 or less people and have for years. And so when they accepted me to the blocks, I'm low man on the totem pole. This is a bunch of entrepreneurs. I'm not a businessman. I just understand what money is and how it moves. And if you want to understand business, you don't need to know nothing about business. Business is conducted by humans. All you need to understand is human nature. That's it. And so that's what I took into the blocks. But I found out when I was there that I had more businesses and a higher net worth than anybody there, probably more so than any 2 or 3 combined. And I think I kind of surprised people when I was there. I definitely looked different than everybody and talked different than everybody. And I think I carried myself differently. I know I made some lasting impressions on some people. And it was good for me to go out there and just match wits with a bunch of other people. And I know that I did well because I have not been invited back. I think Wes might have felt a little bit threatened at some junctures because I understood everything that he was talking about pretty easily. He did have some very good teaching, I will say. It was a good program. But I don't mesh well with businessy people because I'm not out here trying to make money. I just want to be free. I thought for a long time that money equated freedom, but Puck Daddy was right. More money, more fucking problems. More money, more oversight, more obligation. You know what I mean? That's just another level of life. You have to figure out the money game to graduate to the next phase, in my opinion. But the blocks was good. And I was building an app while driving across the country in a van. And I think did we leave out of Colorado? I was helping my buddy Jared build a castle in Colorado.
I saw that, yeah.
And we flew out there and flew back.
Do you remember his judge goodbye speech at the end?
I have it still. I have it.
I swear to God, while I was walking up in the little lines, I felt like I was recording my kindergartner in his first play. I was so excited. And then he got up there and he did his big speech and everybody was crying and clapping.
Yes. I still have it.
My life is proved. If I can do what you can, I was not blessed with anything. I'm 40 pounds. I'm an 8-time convicted felon. I've been discarded and discounted my entire life, but I just keep going.
At the end of your speech, if I remember correct, you had the flag shorts and you bent over and said, "Kiss my ass," didn't you?
Yeah, I was wearing the same shirt they gave me when I got out of prison.
Yes.
I still have it in that bag. I mean, anytime I go somewhere, I wear it. Georgia Department of Corrections, GDC Industries on the tag. Yeah, man, fuck y'all. That's why I wear it. This is what I did with it. I'm not a criminal. You just said I am.
The thing we were in at an earlier show, Ian and I were talking about as far as business. Do you listen to somebody that has been through it and has built a business, whereas instead of being in a college setting, you've got these professors and they're talking about these business plans, this, that, and the other. Who do you listen to? The Harvard MBA.
Why would I listen to anybody about business who's a teacher?
Exactly.
So if you know so much about business, why are you making peanuts to teach?
Those that can do, those that can't teach. There's that old saying. Yes. Another ism.
What you was told. You don't know nothing. I'm telling you, you don't know anything. You know a bunch of opinions. And opinions is like assholes. Everybody got one and most of them stink.
There you go.
There you go. I'm taking that one.
And public education, I hate it. I know exactly what it is. Not education, it's indoctrination.
Correct.
And what they do is they make sure that they fill up your iCloud with a whole bunch of bullshit at the same time while making you say the Pledge of Allegiance every day. And they train you behaviorally to show up every day, 5 days a week for 8 hours. Raise your hand to talk. You can take a one-off. They're training you to be an employee. Join part of the system. And it is so important in America that if you don't take your kids there, they will take your children from you.
Yes, do.
They are creating laborers.
They're
people who don't ask questions. They just do what you're told.
Well, because everything in your head is something that they put there.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
They changed the way the human brain thinks. It's one of my chief complaints. Because the human brain has been altered permanently by society. The human brain is not supposed to function like this. It used to look at the stars and determine direction. Or it used to feel the wind to determine weather. Now, oh no, it is read and regurgitate. That's it.
Oh,
well, it doesn't have to do any work anymore. It's kind of like if you wear shoes all the time, your foot is soft as cotton because you don't use it. Use it or lose it. Your brain does not function like a human anymore. It functions like a computer. Let me put this information in there and then you regurgitate it. That's all it is. And all of the shit they're telling these kids is fucking wrong. I know it is. I 100% know it is. And I can't do anything to stop them.
What about the school system? I don't know how much you know about in there in Costa Rica versus how it is here.
Oh, here the children go to school for 5 hours a day, which includes lunch and recess. It is an hour of outside recess. Lunch is a healthy home-cooked meal with a glass of tap water, as much fruit as you can eat, rice, beans, and some type of soup. They get screens 3 times a week.
Wow. When you say screens,
computer,
electronics.
They don't get a screen. It's called a chalkboard. Huh.
Right.
Kids today don't even know how to write anymore. They can type.
Yeah, no cursive.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're training us into exactly what they want us to be. Completely fucking useless. Because if you're useless, you're dependent.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that whole breakdown Ford did on how the 40-hour work week, how they did it and structured it in such a way that when you do have your weekends, it's more or less to rest up for the next 5 days coming. Yep. Yeah.
Cut your grass. You have to have time to maintain your massive house that you're never at because you're working to pay bills.
Right.
And they know that's why everybody wants to get out. You know that feeling that everybody has of, man, this sucks, I want out? Yeah, that's called your conscience. That's also what people used to live by. It's called a conscience, but that's been replaced by the letter of the law. Nobody gives a shit whether it's right or wrong, whether it's legal or not.
Exactly. Whoa. But so I have a quick question. Now, Alex, I do look at your stuff. So, Alex, when you were doing this and you were doing all of this, do you get people that are harassing you or have other things that are to say to you that aren't so nice? That's what I gather.
Brother. Yeah, and I'm used to it. I've been through the fucking trenches. I'm kind of built for this shit, but at some point over the past 3.5 years, it was just that, like, what? Pull your head out of your ass. You ain't never stuck your finger in your goddamn nose and picked a booger. No. I picked a wedgie. No. And guess what? It's my fucking foot. If I want to pick at my goddamn foot, I'm going to pick at my foot. Get off me. Yes.
Wow.
There's so that was just more playing fun.
No, I got the tongue in cheek of it, but it made me think. I mean, we don't see you as much as you do Joe, but still they've got something bad that's naive.
If you go back through and you look at these videos from the early start of it, I had cystic acne growing up, so I have all the scar dimples and what. Methany was my go-to name for the beginning of social media for Joe and Alex. Yeah, it started real early. It was like those videos, anytime I was in it, did really well just because of the comments, the negative ones. Yeah, it's always been there. I hate social media. I hate videos. I hate it all. I hate editing, but I understand the mission and the change that it has brought, and so I support the whole thing and do it, even though it's just.
I've grown to hate it too, man. It's a trap. The only reason I do it is I feel like if I'm not out there putting some real information in front of people, there will be none.
Correct.
It will be nothing but somebody's trying to fucking pitch you a line of shit to make you buy something that you don't want to buy. That's it. And that it's just making it worse. And just by nature of my strange brain, I found that if you plug me into an algorithm of any kind, it breaks it. You can look at it, including Tinder.
Right.
Since you guys are talking about you met on Tinder, did that boost Tinder a little bit?
Alex broke Tinder a few times.
I know.
Alex broke Tinder. They kept thinking, what? Like she always, her inbox was always
completely
9,999 plus, and it kept thinking she was a bot. I remember that.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'd like to compliment a lot to that. Joe's the realest dude on the internet, where I really think I should have been born with a penis. I'm a dude's, you know what I mean? I'm just in there in the dirt, but it's also I'm me, and I don't give a shit to think about it, and I do what I like to do. Apparently that's attractive.
Yes.
Alex is the juxtaposition. It was actually at the blocks where somebody asked me if I'd ever had a personality test done, and I was like, yeah, I did. It was about 1.5 years before the blocks. We were forming a hedge fund, me and 2 other guys, and we had the performance or the predictive index done by an outfit called Keener Perspectives out of California. A $5,000 or $6,000 personality test for us 3. It wasn't cheap, and I didn't even look at the results. They did all that, and let me fix the houses. But so we pulled it out when I was at the blocks, and it's kind of interesting. My partner Kenneth, when I called him, he told me that they said I was the most extreme personality they had ever tested. And
I can't believe it.
After all the data was crunched, and it says the chance of you meeting another person like me on planet Earth is 0.02.
Wow.
I can forward you this if you want to see it. And so 99.98 percentile, and you have Alex, who contains 23% Neanderthal DNA.
I still think, and I think mine was broken, but the average it came back was like 0.3% Neanderthal DNA for anybody that takes this test. And mine came back at 23%.
What? I thought you were playing.
Yeah, I thought you guys were kidding also.
No, legitimately. So it was just that, like, I still question that a bit, but also it makes a lot of sense because a lot of times, like, fire. I don't know.
us together. I mean, it clicks to extremely weird people who happen to click. I mean, Alex, she finds all my things. I'm a
He
caveman.
loses all his things.
Well, a caveman was not meant to have all this shit. Like my keys, my AirPods, my logins. What the hell? This shit is extreme.
Which is why you told me to go to Alex when I was trying to get you on the show. There you go.
I
Okay.
tell everybody, if people want to talk to me, which well over 1 million people a day are trying to talk to me. I mean, all of the analytics and all the social media, that's what they want. They just want to talk to me. About what?
I just want to talk shit with you. That's what I like. And I hate that I didn't really get to know Alex when I was at the blocks because I was scared shitless being there. Didn't realize why I was there until later on, but that was scary in itself. And then I realized you guys were a couple and I would see you, but it was just a lot.
I was pouting in the hotel room drinking White Claw by myself for the entire thing.
Alex gets mad if I'm not giving her a majority of my attention.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's it. She was very mad at me. She listened to Pink Pony Club
Well,
on
also,
repeat
I did
for 3 or 4 days.
Anyways, I don't people well, like big groups like that.
and it was a big group. So
I
I get that. No.
I am protecting my peace now.
Am I your piece?
Yes.
I'm her piece. She's protecting her
Protecting
peace.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's protecting her peace.
By the way, Joe's mission is planet Earth, and my mission from day one has been Joe Felz.
She's usually the only thing keeping me here because if you look at the state of humanity and the state of the world and the state of current events, it shouldn't take a lot of thinking to realize that this place is fucked.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think I pretty much know the answer to this question, but I'm going to just do it anyway. Okay. What do you have now that you could not buy when you were grinding in the States?
What do I have now? In Costa Rica? Clean air, clean water, a road with no cameras on it, the ability to walk outside and see no cop cars, no surveillance.
I think since October, we've seen a total of maybe 5 to 7 cops.
Wow. I don't.
Everything tastes good for you. If you taste an orange here, it does not taste like an orange back in the States.
No, it doesn't. Lettuce.
No, everything. That's my chief complaint is that they have altered reality.
Yeah.
They literally have. Humanity has created an entire world outside of our imagination. That's it.
Yes.
Money, economics, science, math, sports, media, technology. This is literally just our imagination. That's it. And that's all we think about. Holy hell. You don't even sense danger anymore. You stop because you see red. You've been trained like Pavlov's dogs.
Yep.
In another country, they don't have a street light. And guess what? The population figures it out. They understand what danger is.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. And Americans are the most arrogant and ignorant people on planet fucking Earth. Them boys, hey, they think they want to go fight them boys in Iraq. No, they don't. They don't want to fight in Iran. They do not want to fight them people. Me and my sister beat the Marines on their own mud run course. My sister. That was like 8 years ago. I beat the Marines 5 years in a row. Right? Look at the Spartans. 300 Spartans was worth 300,000 Persians. And Americans are these shit sorriest people walking planet Earth right now. That's why I had to get out of there. I can't. No offense to all the wonderful people. As a whole, American culture sucks balls. 80% are overweight or obese.
True.
Most people don't even know how to leave their fucking house without a map. Know how to fix a house, fix a tire? What? Hey, break down on the side of the road in America. You will wait for days. Ain't nobody stopping to help you. You break down here? Shit, what happened when we broke down?
There's 9
The whole
people.
town came out to help. 2 foreigners in their country. Yeah. And I remember we ripped an oil pan on a rock. And it was getting towards dark. And I walked off with the town drunk to go look at a piece of land for sale. When I came back, Alex was sitting there at the rental car. And there were about 14 ranch workers sitting there on motorcycles and horses with machetes on their sides, drinking beer. This little tiny store, the only place in this entire stretch. And she was sitting there with our passports, money, computers, everything. And what happened, Alex?
A couple of them asked if we needed help, what was going on. Other than that, it was almost like they were watching over the truck to make sure that me and the truck were fine.
Wow.
You know, anywhere in America, if that would have happened, somewhere I was unaware of, and there was a bunch of men standing there with knives in the dark.
Bro, you would have been another redacted name on the Epstein list. What you mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, it pisses me off so bad. That's one other reason that I'll be on social media is just to throw it back in their face. Like, hey, completely lost and completely dependent. So
That's
dependent
right.
on your health care, on the water coming to your house, on the food in the store. Look, they say there's going to be a hurricane or something. What happens? Go to the store to try and buy as much as they can so nobody else can have some. Like, bro, they are so fucked.
And then sell it at triple the price.
That's
Right.
said it. I want to go back to that. Is humanity's fucked, and I'm really one of the only things keeping here. It's all fucked. Here's where my set is going. All of this is fucked. Yes. We have 2 options. We can sit here and focus on all of that being fucked, or you can live your goddamn life and be happy. It's whatever's going to happen over there is going to happen regardless. Whatever you do, whatever I do, whatever we do, it's not going to change a goddamn bit, right? Is it? Is anything we do going to change anything over there? Is anything
No.
you do going to change anything over there?
No.
And I think that's where everybody's at right now. Is everybody's so fucking focused on the shit that it is just draining the absolute life out of absolutely everybody. Everybody's depressed. We have anxiety. We're sick. We're this. We're that. Fucking let it go. Let it go. Whether you die in 2 years or you don't. Do you want to be miserable for the next 2 years and then die, or you want to be happy and then die?
There you go.
Quit focusing on the shit. Let it go.
Now, I'm thinking about all the different things. First thing that comes to mind, I remember you had on your video the lady that was washing your feet. That was interesting. It was incredible. It was touching, just genuine. It was just very genuine.
I study the Bible extensively. Jesus' hands on my left, Jacob's ladder on my right, the graveyard scene on that Celtic cross on this one. That says by grace only. John's putting a dragon. I'm going to go right there. This is from my favorite book, St. George and the Dragon as a kid. It's me fighting the system. I have the Bible written on the tablet of my heart, thanks to my dad. And when I saw a little widow washing my feet, when I'm the one of my quotes is that God is speaking to you with everything but words. Yeah, he is always broadcasting. You have to adjust your antenna correctly. And when that happened, I cried, man. I cried. She followed us. She did it twice before we walked into her house.
But it was without thought, too. I mean, it was like so natural in her brain.
And because that's the thing, nobody else would ever see it. Why? Because you'd have to walk. You'd have to park your car because the driveway was too muddy to drive through. You'd have to walk through mud, and then you'd show up to a bare yard that smells like chicken shit. Why? Because she has chickens everywhere. Then, after we caught our chickens, she offered us to come inside. And that was where she stopped and washed all of our feet. Mine, Alex's, the kids, before we walked in. I was like, wait a minute. And then she took us in and showed us her house. And everything she had in that kitchen, she had grown herself. She gave us pinot, which is nothing but cinnamon, cacao,
that was good,
and milk, and maize, 4 ingredients. It was so delicious. And it was just this warm Tico home. And then when we left, we were carrying this dog crate full of chickens down, and I didn't even notice her coming behind us. She had a 2-liter bottle full of water because she washed our feet again before we got in our car. And nobody else ever picks this up. Why? Because they never would have gotten there. Because they would have discarded this woman who is not beautiful by your standards. And you would have been scared of getting your feet dirty or the smell of the yard. Why? You would have missed it. And why? That's because what you fucking deserved it for discarding things that don't look right.
Yeah. And since you're talking about the Bible, are you still making copies, sending them out? Do you have a lot of requests for those?
There's
Here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Now, I do remember watching one from you. You had a Bible that you found somewhere that was so very old, right?
I have one that's 212 years old that Terry Toole brought to me. It was found discarded in a dumpster in Macon, South Carolina, along with the Trojan Freemason documents. I have another Bible that a lady named Johnny sent to me years ago that sat in the Jesus house for almost 2 years. That one's 131 years old. I have a German Bible from 1878 that a fellow named Chris found at a yard sale in Florida to me. And all of these people tell me the same thing. Hey, something told me to give this to you, to send it to you. I feel like you'll do something correct with it. I have one more that I picked up when I was in Augusta. It's a Catholic Bible. And I have all these old books, and I'm just trying to put together the truth. From just like God, there was one thing at the beginning, and it's been fractalized, and people have taken parts of it. They took a part of it 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 years ago and shot this offshoot called religion, this offshoot called mysticism, this offshoot called witchcraft, magic, science, spiritualism. And then it's continued to be diluted and polluted for 2,000 years. And the only way that you can ever figure out a part of the truth is to take from where you are now and go all the way back down.
Reverse engineer it.
The truth out.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys, I saw in there, you guys would bring your kids every so often out there to Costa Rica. How do they like it?
Shit, they love it. You agree?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're
Our
good.
kids are here now.
Mine are with us all the time.
I have a question.
Sure.
You have the propensity to learn. When did you start? When did you know that you had this? You can just pick something up. This is the epitome of a dang Renaissance man. You learned a different language, or how many languages do you know that you can speak or write?
I'm bilingual. I can speak English, Spanish, and redneck.
Redneck. Okay.
Redneck, like the slap-a-hoe code talkers.
Right.
Hey, I never figured that shit out.
Where did you spoke very highly of your dad. Did you learn a lot of stuff from your father?
Yeah, my dad and I'm just like my father.
Okay.
He was a decorated medical doctor. He was published in the New England Journal of Medicine, listed as USA Today's top 100 doctors when I was in high school. And he was a very intelligent man. I remember multiple doctors when I was going for checkups as a kid, they'd see my name on the chart and say, "Hey, is your dad Mike?" I'd say yes. And they'd say, he was the smartest doctor I ever worked with. He was different, though. I was born in Papua New Guinea. He took my mom and my 2 older siblings to a formerly cannibalistic tribe. These people were eating each other till the 1980s. And I was born in 86. He delivered me. And he went back and took mosquito nets when I was in high school. And he never worried about himself. He was the most selfless man I've ever known. And I have shades of him, but I'm a little different. And he taught me a lot. Now, I will say I'm not intelligent like y'all think. I'm just an old model. This is how the human brain was supposed to work. Observation and extrapolation, not observation and regurgitation. That's what makes a supercomputer so smart, is you put one piece of data in there and it extrapolates a million things that you didn't know because of what it saw. That's how my brain works. If I observe something for long enough, I will learn it like that. That's how humanity used to be. And now they've been changed. And I will credit my father. I grew up without a TV. My brain was not filled with fucking horse shit from a young age. It was forced to do work. In 6th grade, in one school year, I read the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I used to go to school like this. They had them stupid books they gave me. I took whatever book I wanted to read and I put it there and I read. I've always been a reader. And it's kind of weird. If you want to gain the world, all you have to do is improve yourself. You have to sharpen your mind. You have to hone your body. I exist in discomfort on a pretty much consistent basis. No air conditioning, no hot water. I run almost every day. I exercise at least 6 times a week, have since I was 15. I force myself to read and grow every single day. And just by nature of having my body and my mind sharpened, I'm able to do things that other people aren't. I just outwork them. That's it. I always thought when I was wrestling, I had a chance to wrestle in college. When I was fighting, MMA, kickboxing, or running, every time I was training, I always thought, what's my opponent doing right now? Is he sitting at home? Is he resting? What's he doing? I'm outworking him. That doesn't matter. I'm just going to, a war of attrition. I will just outwork you. And I never do anything for monetary gain. I've said this before. I make money like a UFC fighter gets women. I break people's face and women love me as a result. They're completely unrelated. I do things out of an altruistic reason. I'm never trying to gain something for me. When I bought all those houses, I had one thing in mind, and it was to try and make the happiest tenants you could ever have. And I remodeled them extensively with the biggest energy efficiency upgrades you could imagine in a rental house. Metal roofs, foam insulated attics, tankless electric water heaters, with the goal of having a total electric house with a power bill under $100 a month. That was $50 below market rent with granite countertops, vaulted ceilings, everything about reducing the heat mainly. That's what I was trying to do. And as a result, I had a bunch of happy tenants who never move out.
What about that?
So how do you manage all
that? They
that?
won't leave, right?
You have property management companies that help you out?
Yeah, I co-own a real estate brokerage. I have Brandy Sutton. She's the only person who's helped me besides Alex in any of these businesses. I spent the last 2 years building a mobile app to run all my construction company remotely.
Yes,
building myself. I'm using it right now to build these casitas. I have 2 or 3 jobs going on in Augusta, and it's working fine. I do things my own way. I got tired of trying to rely on people because they would not meet my high standards. So I built my own app. I relied on a computer. And it's working. But also, if you take a house and you gut it, rewire it, replumb it, put in a new air conditioner, a metal roof, new everything, you shouldn't have to maintain much.
Right.
That is true.
So
I
said
it right the first time.
You build it right.
So are people looking specifically for what you have so they can rent? Is your name like, oh man, a Joe Felz house? If you get that, you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, in my town of Augusta, most people know me. I never have any vacancies, really. If somebody ever goes to move out, I have somebody coming in right behind them. And I probably only have 1 to 2 move outs a year.
Oh, wow.
Hell, why would you move out? You cannot find a nicer house in this neighborhood, and it's cheaper than all the other ones with lower utility bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember what I said before. Business is conducted by humans. So if you understand human nature, you can figure out business pretty easily.
This is true.
And I started that before I was 18. I was in 3-4 psychiatric lockups. I could not leave. And then I did 2.5 years in prison. When I got out of prison, I spent 10 years listening to people talk out their ass in AA. And basically, you could say that I was in prison and rehab in AA, but no, I was in a massive decades-long psychological experiment. That is humanity at its lowest. And if you have a processor like mine and you just sit here and watch, you can see what makes societies and groups and organizations go. You can see how people rule. It's part of the reason why I've always been targeted by society is because I don't fit in. I don't fit in. And just like the Matrix, anytime a system realizes that there's something foreign in it, it will attack it.
It attacks
Right.
it. Yep.
Just in your body.
I have one question for you, Alex. You said something about you consider yourself a healer.
I don't know anymore. I'm a firm believer that some of us went through fucking shit upbringings so that we could become the people that we are at this point, to be able to show others how to move through the bullshit, alchemize it, and use it to your advantage. I did. I was in the fucking trenches. And so it's very much Joe had this picture perfect upbringing. And then since 19 in prison, and then had the okay life and did everything you're supposed to. And that has all essentially completely shattered and been fallen and broken apart. And so now you have this man that's like, it's this total reset button. Where the fuck why am I here? What am I doing? And so it's very much, and I've kind of done this with a couple other people, but it's this kind of guidance. And I'm that obnoxious little bird that's constantly like, everything's okay. We're going to be fine. We're going to be great. After I got out of the medical system, I very much, before even that, 5 years prior to, started looking more at homeopathic remedies. Just recently, we went down and did Bufo and Cambo ceremony. I do all the oils and the blah, 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 blah. I still can't heal my goddamn stomach, so there's that. I can't figure that one out, but...
That's the thing. The doctor can heal everybody but himself.
Yeah, so
That hit. Yeah. You seem like a natural nurturer, so that's why when you said a
Oh,
healer.
yeah. So I grew up, my mom was bipolar, rapid cycler, never knew my dad. I had a sister, she's 2 years younger than me, grew up, kind of raised her. And then we broke poor, went through 3 or 4 different stepdads, the whole beating the mom situation, that whole get up. And then we moved to Panama City Beach when I was 15 years old, 14, which is no place a teenage girl should ever try and grow up. It's not a good place. Not good. I had mom who was drugged out, doing all God knows what. I was in the first semester of my 9th grade year, and I got invited to a party by seniors. So I was super excited because I was the new kid there. Went, and it was with one other girl that I met. Got there. She ended up leaving, and I was gang raped by 7 men. The whole thing was recorded and then passed along the strip of beach in Panama City Beach. And so for 2 weeks, I hid in my sister's closet, didn't go to school. Principal found out about it. They made him delete everything. So by that point, all physical evidence was gone, and it was basically my word against 7 of theirs. Whole case was dropped. I dropped out of high school, started working 3 jobs to play rent, through the psych wards, did the runaway, did all the drugs. Cinco de Mayo, when I was 19 years old, I ended up in rehab, and then found out I was pregnant, and that kind of changed everything at that point. It was just like, okay, new game. And yeah, then for God, I don't know, I had Kobe 3 years later. That was just, I was mom. That was what I was supposed to do. Society, fuck everything, want what I need, it's kids. Yep. And then somewhere in between there, I kind of realized this, hey, you have to have a life too. And so I started doing all the weird hippy dippy shit. And so no, it was just, again, it was everything that I went through my entire life. It was this push you down. And I've always said, trust your, I can do it. Whatever it is. He always says something about the retarded kid.
Why can't a retarded kid sometimes pick up a car? Because nobody told him he couldn't.
Huh. And
that's just it. It was, and people told me I couldn't. Whatever it is, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it well. And it's just that I'm up here and I refuse to come down here for any reason. I've been down here and I don't ever want to go back there.
Yeah.
And so trying to push that into other humans, like I said, especially now with the amount of shit that's going on, it's like, let it go. There is so much more out there. So much more. You gotta let it go.
Well, see, Alex and I don't know what else I should do. I've been around the world. I've made millions. I've won races. I've inspired people. I've built businesses. I've had kids. I've influenced people. I've changed lives. What else would you like me to do?
Whatever makes you happy.
See, that's the thing.
You can't be happy because you have not let go.
But I've always lived a selfless life. I don't do anything for myself. The only thing I do for myself is exercise. I have never in my fucking life relaxed on a beach, nor do I want to.
There is truth to you cannot take care of other people until you take care of yourself. You have to put your oxygen mask on first before you.
Yes, I was going to say that same scenario, Alex. They'd say that all the time on the flight.
And you guys can see it at this point. He's fucking tired.
I'm just tired of it.
Drained, completely drained. And it's this, until you start putting this as a priority, that you're going to be here for forever.
So some of the people that you cut out or have put aside of your life, now that they see you on social media and all that, all of a sudden, hey, you guys, let's get together, let's talk. Now all of a sudden, are you the flavor of the month now that all this stuff is happening?
So I'm a little different than Alex. I got a little chain gang in me and a little respect for myself.
Oh, trust me, bitch. I got chain gang in there too.
Yes, and like I said, I haven't touched it. I don't fuck with guns. I don't want to do anything. I just wish all of these people who talk so much would meet me face to face and just get down to it.
Shine on them. That's all you got to do. Keep shining on them. They will see it. Karma will make its way back around and tag their ass.
I know, but that ain't no fun. That ain't no fun. I ain't doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, I do that, and they can't beat me at anything. I already have shined on them, and I have been putting in and helping and supporting people for decades. That's all I do.
I'd say too, most of the people, everybody that I worked with, friends I had in Iowa, it was even my family, really salty.
Oh, yeah.
And it was this, you're no longer fitting in this box that we like.
Mhm.
You're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing and working a 9 to 5 and going to soccer practice and all of these
Yeah.
things. And it's not a, hey, what's up? Hey, can we talk? It's a,
Story of Joseph in the Bible. His brothers threw him into a hole and sold him into slaves. Going to be greater than him one day.
And he was.
Like I said, I can't wait. That's the only part that hadn't happened. My life has followed the biblical story of Joseph to a T. As I was telling everybody, there's a bad time coming while in a foreign country, maybe rising to prominence and saving my duckies the entire time I've been preparing. But telling y'all what's coming and showing you what I'm doing. You won't have to listen to me. Just like Noah, when he shut the door on that boat and it started to rain, he did not feel an ounce of remorse.
Well, how many years did it take Noah to build the boat anyways? He had been,
40 years.
Yeah.
Which is a significant number. Hey, I'm going to turn 40 in June.
Yeah, 40 years.
There's a lot of things happening on planet Earth, and because humanity's head exists in a cipher of their own imagination, that's all they think about. They don't even consider the natural world. Humanity is a lot like an anthill that was built 2 inches below the high water mark on a beach at low tide. 100,000 generations of ants have lived and died, and they think that this little anthill is all that there is on planet Earth. Little do they know that water's coming back up. It's coming, and it's way bigger than you. As 8 meteors had hit America in a few days, all of Australia turned bright red. Did you see that? Whoa. As there's wildfires and earthquakes and tremors and hurricanes and war in the Middle East. I don't know.
Someone's coming.
You feel better.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
what I'm
feel
trying
that-
to tell you.
Do you feel
Your
that
head's full.
you probably do, but do you feel like because the United States is the youngest nation, youngest country there is, do you feel that this was like a psyop, or this was created to like, we're like a, what do you call
It's all cyclical, man.
What did you say?
It's cyclical. And like I said, it's a cycle. Everything on Earth is a cycle. Earth is a closed system.
Mhm.
Now notice, I point out like this. There is no straight line on planet Earth. If you had a nuclear-powered plane that could fly for infinity and you set a perfectly straight course and began flying, if you continued long enough, where would you be? Right where you fucking started, because Earth is a giant ball. Your head.
A flat earther. Okay.
No. No. The Earth is a circle.
Right.
Oh, my God.
I'm playing with you because you said
Hey, look, and I always
the flat
say this,
earthers are.
because hey, homie, if Earth has magnetic poles, which are easily observable, if it was flat, they'd be connected. You wouldn't have magnetic poles, you dumb motherfuckers. That's
the reading shit. Oh my gosh. Talk about the AI with the.
oh God. But let me finish this. Everything on Earth is cyclical. Okay. Time, as reflected on Earth, is cyclical. Because notice, if you leave Earth and go to outer space, time moves a lot differently.
It does.
Whoa, there's no gravity out there. There's gravity down here. That's right. Everything on Earth is cyclical, and the United States right now is in the same cycle as 1940s Germany.
I never
We have
heard
a
that one.
right-wing dictator doing whatever he wants, arbitrarily rounding up a specific group of people for no apparent reason and putting them in secret camps where they just disappear. And now he's starting a massive war. If you look at the value of the dollar and the value of the German mark, you remember they used to have the walls around Germany? What about the walls around the US? Yeah, it's called pattern recognition. Hitler, ICE, Gestapo, Jews, Mexicans. You don't have to fucking bend your head too far. You just have to go, oh shit, I was not paying attention to the right data set. And that's what's happening now. Earth is a microcosm of your, or it's a macrocosm. Look, Earth is had enough of us. Look, we are steadily. God put us here for a reason. We're supposed to be the janitors of planet Earth. That's why we have no weapons. That's why we can speak. Why we're intelligent. Why we have a thumb. We're supposed to take care of things. And what have we done with our God-given intelligence? We've begun fucking planet Earth as hard as we can, so we don't have to do any work. The last thing God told Adam when he kicked him out of the garden was, by the sweat of your brow, you shall earn your living. The last thing he told Eve was, you will have great pain in childbirth. No, fuck, I want epidural. Adam, I'm not going to sweat air conditioner. That means Earth weighs the same amount right now as it did when it was born. You ever flown in a plane and looked out and seen nothing but man-made structures? Your house, this computer, my hat, this necklace, everything that we have was converted from natural Earth. Whoa. That's why I'm so pissed all the time. Nobody else sees it like that. Man has left his desired place. It's the Tower of Babel all over again, where they're going to unite and become as high as the gods and unite under one language.
Right.
It's the same fucking thing. And guess what might happen next? A large flood.
Well,
Okay. because
Interesting.
biblically there's not supposed to be any more floods.
What are the sea levels doing right now? They're rising like hell. Why? Because we keep burning all this oil and putting heat in the atmosphere. Is climate change a real thing? Yeah, let's go ahead and think about this. You don't have to look at any research at all. Let me ask you these questions. Earth is a closed system, right? That ozone layer keeps everything trapped here. Okay. What happens inside a closed system if you take ambient, non-heat producing parts of it and change them to heat producing parts?
You're going to have to tell me.
Well, let's say if we have a bunch of green space here that's made out of trees and we replace it with factories and cars and houses which produce heat, what will happen inside the system?
When
It'll get fucking hotter. There's no way around it. None. Of course it's getting hotter. And remember, the earth is your body, right? We start with an atom. A bunch of atoms form a tissue. It's an organ, then an organ system, then an organism. And then you have a group, a community, a county, a state, a country. Okay, it's the same thing. What happens when you get sick? What's the first thing that usually happens? You get fever. Oh, what's Earth doing?
Got a fever.
Oh man, it's getting warmer, isn't it? Every year. You can see it. Okay, what's the next thing that happens? You might start to sweat or shake a little bit. Noticed any earthquakes out there? Have there been any floods? Then you might start to vomit. Volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, hurricanes.
I think he made his point.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah, like what the hell? I mean, the fucking humans are talking about making a base on the moon.
Yeah.
They are.
We have fucked this place from the top down and are steadily fucking it as hard as we can, as fast as we can. And right now, the most worrying thing on everybody's mind is we're not going to have enough oil. We might have to walk again. We won't be able to make plastic. Oh my God.
It's crazy.
All the things that are in our body currently.
All the shit that we don't need, that we invented. God put oil under a fucking ocean. I don't know how he could have hit it any better. Jesus come back right now. You know what he's going to say? What the fuck are all the animals doing in these pens? Why are y'all so fat?
Yeah.
Remember all the parables of the vineyards in the Bible? There was a bunch of them who said, hey, there was a vineyard owner who left his vineyard to his servants and said, I'm going on a trip and I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
After he left, some of the vineyard workers rose up and beat the other ones and enslaved them and robbed all the riches of the vineyard. What will happen when the vineyard owner returns?
Hell to pay.
Yeah, hell to pay.
I just want to be there when that happens. I'll be like, hey, I told you. Can I have a fiery sword? Can I have a fiery sword? You motherfuckers deserve it.
He's like, let me get on it. Let me get on this.
I try and live to the best of my ability as God intended. I don't want air conditioning. I don't want hot water. I was given the ability to sweat, and that's good enough for Joe. I'm warm-blooded. I don't need hot water. I can adapt my body to suit the world. It's much easier than adapting the world to suit my body. Whoa. What a humble thought for somebody to have in 2026. Yeah, how would you like it if people in other countries treated you as Americans treat people in their country?
It was wild. I mean, all of Spain, France, Costa Rica, Mexico, most of these places, everybody speaks 2-3 languages. You can walk up anywhere and most of them can speak a little bit of English for you. Whereas I remember patients coming into the clinic and people being like, oh, you don't speak English? Gotta go. Like, it's not, go back to where you came from if you don't speak American.
And before I came to Costa Rica, I would not be disrespectful enough to move to a country without speaking their language.
Or at least learn the culture a little bit.
Yeah, we learned some of the customs a little bit, so we didn't look like total assholes walking around, but it was very humbling. Luckily, we had a guide, so we weren't out there completely, but they even told us, okay, this is what you do. This is how you do it. It was a lot.
You know what's so funny? There is a travel advisory in the U.S. against Costa Rica right now. They are telling you that it is dangerous in Costa Rica. Yes, look it up. It's on the U.S. government website. Now, that's kind of funny because over 1,200 people a year are killed by police alone in America. There's not that many, I think they might have 200 or 300 murders total in this entire country. 12 people a year get shot by police, and it's all justifiable. They have over 1,160 average homicides by police in America that are not justified. Now, do the math. That's several every day. But what it is, America is a land of marketing. That's all it is. And this is the problem, is they tell you anything and people believe it. That's what they're saying right now. We're beating Iran. We destroyed them. Now it's a bunch of bullshit. Y'all control the data flowing in here and you train people to just believe whatever they see. Why? Because their brain has been rewired to read and regurgitate. It's a beautiful system they've contrived.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I tell you, people need to travel. That way they can experience what is. Reality. It's called awareness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but they have the system set up so much that you can't. Why? Well, fuck. That's the main thing. It really pisses me off. That's one thing. People see me doing this, and the first thing I hear is, "I do that, but I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I don't have the money." And I just have to tell people, if you cannot figure out how to support yourself, you are in the lower rung of mental thought. That is the story of humanity, because humanity had, back in the day, you had to learn to feed yourself, whatever that entailed. And once you had a sufficient quantity of food and shelter, you could learn arts because you had time to do. And so if you can't understand the environment you're in right now, you can't graduate to the next level.
Right.
And please, people say, "Oh, you spent a lot of money to get there." Yeah, I spent $154,000 to buy this place that I had, and I earned every dollar off it with my own hands. I never bought a house with a mortgage. I wasn't loaning any money. I didn't get any favors. I just saw the environment that I lived in and how to properly position myself in this environment. And as soon as I could get out of that motherfucker, I did. And that's it. And most people, you cannot. I'm so tired of hearing excuses. You've got to take personal responsibility for you and everything in your life. Why? Yeah, you can't blame anybody else, and it doesn't benefit you too, because you can't control their action. You can only control your own. And most people are just so caught up in the ho-hum, and also you're trapped by your convenience and your comfort. Your power bill would not be $400 a month if that AC was not set on 68. Huh?
I said mine on 72.
You do not need to have 2,200 square feet of house.
Okay, well,
Hey, now,
that's about all the time we have today.
If you think about that, I lived in a van for all them years.
I know.
I don't need anything, and I tell you, it might step on toes, but that's okay. That is completely okay.
So how do you teach a person? How do you teach someone to think like you?
I haven't been able to teach anybody, and this sounds bad because they all too soft. I can't get an apprentice.
My last question, speaking of that, is how did that go? I know you went through this massive thing to get people. You narrowed it down, and there were some that were there with you in Costa Rica, correct?
Man, I tell you, we brought, the first one was a kid named Leaf. You know what I brought? I did the best I could to bring people who had some type of talent that I could teach, that I could train. You know what I got? I got a bunch of people who wanted to live in my house with no bills and didn't want to do anything whatsoever to improve or support themselves. And I have now changed that. I realize that I am the outlier here. I am autonomous and self-supporting. And I have never been able to find anybody to put ideas into their head. They can't take it. Why? Well, they think it's crazy. Yeah, I think you should get up and exercise. I think you should learn to tame your body. I think you should work every day. I think you should work without thought of being paid. I think you should work for experience and ability. That's how I did it all these years.
Well, that was the whole premise of them coming down there.
And the worst one
was
Tabitha. Because she did well for a while. And I'm here to teach you. Whatever it is you want to learn, I'm here to help you grow. And what happened? She wanted one thing. What did she want?
To monetize on Facebook.
Wanted to monetize on Facebook. So I spent 4 days. I spent about 5 hours a day, one-on-one, teaching her the concept behind social media, what that thing actually is, how it thinks, how you take a video, how you edit it, how human nature is played into the reaction of the algorithm. And in 72 hours, she made her first money on social media. She'd been trying for over 2 years, hadn't even cracked it. In 3 days, I taught her how to do it, and she did it. And then what happened? That was Christmas, right? That was the day before Christmas.
Yeah.
At Christmas, I went out and bought presents for everybody. It was good. And then woke up the next morning, and she was gone. So I went, checked. There was notes on the pillowcase, one for each of us. She said that she thought Joe was on drugs and that she thought that he treated me terribly and that she couldn't stay here anymore. The day after she was able to monetize.
And what
she needed and left.
Were there any signs? Was there an argument? Was there anything? I'm talking about nothing.
And the entire time from the get-go, I was like, hey, he is a little extreme sometimes, and sometimes us bitches are a little bit softer than men. I understand now, I get that. So like I gave her the little, hey, something's going on, you need to talk, you're upset, whatever, I'm here, talk to me. Not a goddamn word. She was fine the entire time.
Left. And then here's the worst part. Went to my best friend's house.
Here in Costa Rica.
Who took her in.
Because that is just their culture. They will care for whoever, no matter what. If they need help, they're going to help you.
Well, I lost my friend, too. I haven't talked to him since. He gone. My
Oh.
lawyer, Wilbur, he gone.
But I would like to point out my point about karma. Both Leaf left nasty and Tabitha left nasty. Leaf left 2 or 3 days after he left. He was hit by a car while riding a moped in Cocoa Beach.
Oh, and the hotel. And by the way, when we say left, we paid his way here. We let him stay in this house. We bought all of the food.
Booked him a motel when he left.
Booked him a hotel because I didn't feel good putting somebody out on a bus who didn't speak Spanish in this country. And then guess what? The lady, Nikki, we put him up right across from the beach in Cocoa Beach, 1 block across from the beach for 3 days. He still has his return flight on us booked. She called us and said, who is this guy? He is the most disrespectful. He left a 2-foot bong sitting out on the table, was just smoking weed right in the courtyard with everybody. And then he called a prostitute over here and did not have the money to pay her.
So he asked her for the money.
And then was going around asking guests if he could Venmo them money for cash to pay the hooker. These are the type of people.
Tabitha got back to the States, and as soon as she got back, whatever she did, she fucked up, and her monetization got yanked from Facebook. So she is no longer monetizing. She had to start over, try and create a new Facebook, and is now begging for people to interact with her shit so that she gets remonetized. It's not going to happen. But karma, it goes around, comes around.
But this is what happens to me. I do a lot of good in this earth, and I tell people the truth. And it's very inconvenient that they cannot or will not accept what is. I'm not giving you my opinion. I'm giving you my observation. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there that are still arguing whether the earth is flat or round. If it was flat, it would affect you in any way, shape, or form. Who gives a shit? People just cannot accept what is. Why? Because their head exists in a literal simulated world. They live in a complete fabrication. And one day, all of that shit is going to be yanked away, and you're going to be left in harsh reality. And they're not going to be able to handle it. And like I've tried valiantly to find somebody to teach. Why? Because when I leave this earth, everything that's in here will go with me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nobody, my mobile application, the solar installations, all the extrapolations on these books, the way that I think and process information, it's unique to me. And if I died right now, nobody else would understand it. And I thought that it might be good to try and teach somebody. But I haven't found anybody.
What are you passing on to your kids? I know they're picking up a lot.
I'd say Charlie and Colby have picked up a lot. I think both of them look up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially Charlie. Colby too. He just is less vocal about it. Hell, the kid wants to dress like me. Charlie ran a half marathon and finished barefooted. Yeah, I teach it, but I have people who can emulate certain parts of what I do, but they don't have the same soul with it. They do it for a different.
No, but you're an individual. No one's going to have exactly like you.
Most people will emulate what they see me doing, but it's only so they'll make money, or it's only so they can be famous or they can follow. I don't do that for any of that. I do it for the right reason. And I found some people who will do the right thing for the wrong reason, which is probably the worst thing you can do.
Well,
If they better to do the wrong thing for the right reason. Just like Jesus said, when you pray, do not go on the street corner. You go in your closet. Things people see me doing now, I've been doing this for decades before. I've spent years of my life running up mountains, crying my eyeballs out and trying to purge every softness and impurity from my body. And a few years ago, I decided to start putting it on the internet, and now here we are. And that's the thing that I can't get anybody to do. I can't get anybody to do anything for the love of it.
Yeah. Well, I definitely wanted you on I didn't know that you were definitely on social media until I saw you on social media. But like I said, I knew that I wanted to still keep in touch even after I met you that time at the blocks. So if we blow up, that's great. But regardless, I'm going to still follow you guys and you'll see the little heart. I don't really say much.
I remember you too, Casey. I remember that conversation we had. I remember how nervous you were. And what I wanted to tell you, what is? You need to understand what is. You are you, and you have a unique, special soul. And you have to let that shine, and you have to let your light shine, not a reflection of what you think other people want to see. And do not be surprised if the world reviles you and hates you and turns you up to be tried in the courts. Great in heaven. Now you go out there. And if you want, you can leave whatever has been constructed for you. You do not have to stay there. Man was given the ability to choose his own path. He's the only creature on planet Earth that can choose his own path. You take the high road. And lastly, I cannot stress this one passage enough. Straight and narrow is the way, and few are they who find it.
Yep.
If you are on a road with a whole lot of people, you are going in the wrong fucking direction.
I must be going in the right direction then.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know. E, did you have anything else? Because I know you guys definitely are busy and I don't want to take too much more of your time. And I don't want to cry my eyes out because my eyes are burning. But again,
I'm sorry,
I can't.
I like to be a lot. And I don't have many filters.
Oh, that's why I wanted you on. The filters, I would have never reached out.
Right.
So I don't know. E, do you have anything else to add? I just want to.
No, I really enjoyed this conversation. I could pretty much talk to you for a long time because you have very many directions that you go in. And a lot of them, I'm like, he's speaking my language.
Yeah. We just have to go out to Costa Rica.
Right.
When it's built, I don't want to do too much work.
Well, I'll tell you what we're building here so you know. I am building my own reality. This is reality. Okay? In reality, water comes from the river or the sky, not from a bottle or a pipe. In reality, food comes from the earth, not from a store. In reality, energy comes from the earth, not from a power plant. And that's what I'm going to do. And I probably won't have a lot of visitors. Why? Because there will be no hot water. In reality, water is the temperature of water. Okay? In reality, when it's hot, you will sweat. That's how you cool yourself. And I've already found out if people can't even handle these basic inconveniences, they'll never grasp what I'm trying to teach them. And if you can handle just existing on planet Earth as God intended, then you can open yourself up to learn anything else you'd like. If you'd like to learn solar energy, that's no problem. That'd be like a day and a half. If you'd like to learn off-grid living, that's it. I can't wait for somebody to order chicken at Reality. We're going to take you right to the hen house.
Like, there you go.
Why?
I just want to hang out. I just want to hang out, and I'll just absorb it as we go.
Well, that's what we do it. Somebody's got to do it. And I'm so tired of people building big plush resorts that cater to rich people. I don't give a shit how much money you have. You can sweat like the rest of us. And nobody has a place like this that I have seen. There's a lot of other ones, and they cater. Why? Because they want business. Me personally, I don't give a shit if you show up or not. I'm here doing what I'm supposed to. And if people would like to come here and learn a different way of life, that's what they'll get. And there is no price tag on this. I do have the application up. You can not make a reservation, just an application. And the purchase price is a question. If I let you into my home, let you meet my family, show you a new way to live, and teach you things on planet Earth that few people know, what will you give me? And then there's a drop-down menu with 3 options. 1, barter. 2, service. 3, monetary. And you can write in whatever you want. Some people might have a sincere desire to learn but have no money. You can offer me anything you want, and I can accept or not. And I think that's revolutionary, because I want to be open to anybody who has a sincere desire to improve themselves. I don't care how much money you have, but I would like you to verify that you think what I have has some type of value, and put it down in writing. What is it worth to you? And it might be my grandpa's old jacket. I'd take that in a heartbeat. And I'd probably tell him to bring the jacket and then tell him to take it home with them. I'm not here for money. I found that God provides everything I need. I never have to want for anything. My life is like Elijah's widow over and over again. There's always enough oil, enough. Always. We hope it catches fire, and they're building right now. The casitas will probably be done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. The tower's up. I think the world needs it now. It would be my desire to have just a small group of people, because there are only 4 things needful for life: food, air, water, and the people you love around you. I'm very proficient at the first 3, but the 4th one is a hard one. Humanity, from our construct, is a social creature, and we desire a deep connection with people around us.
I don't.
Shit, yeah, you do. From me.
That's it. I'm good.
Well, yeah, and I'm here. I was put on. I don't know why I'm here with all these strange abilities and burning questions and endless amount of energy.
Somebody's got to do it, so why not you?
Send me, Lord. I'm up for the dummy mission. I've done a lot of dummy missions in my life and done them pretty successfully. You've seen me work with Julian and Parker. I've been in some multi-million-dollar meeting rooms, college universities, NASA aerospace engineers. But I just keep going around and doing what I feel in here I should be doing. The problem is when I run out of another goalpost to try and make, and I just don't know what else I should do with my time or my abilities. So right now I'm trying to teach people things, and I really feel the urge to write a few books. But some of these things that I've explained to you, I need to put it down in writing. That way it can far outweigh me. Yes. And I think it shocks some of the scientific community to hear somebody explain what's right in front of their faces, but they don't see about humanity, the state of the world, the cyclical nature of things.
We really appreciate you coming on Disrupt and Discuss and telling your story, talking about all the intricacies of your life and your journey, both you and Alex. And it's definitely one for the books. It's going to be nothing that we've done before. I'm looking forward to Disrupt and Discuss, the family watching this and letting us know in the comments what you thought about the conversation that we had with Joe and Alex. We always love to hear from you guys. Always remember to like, share, subscribe. We look forward to putting all Joe and Alex's social media in the description when this comes out. You guys check them out. You will be amazed at all the things that they do. Until the next one, you guys, what do we usually like to say?
Bye.